last presenter is Tech Trader. Okay, while he's setting up, I just want to tell you that our next event, this event, big event next month, will be October 19th here. It will be number 50, so we'll have a big celebration. And also check out Open Coffee Club this Sunday, 10 a.m. at Panera on Wilshire and 6.
Alright, so my name is William Mock, and I'm the founder of the Tech Trader Fund. My technology is called Tech Trader, and before I get into it, I'll give you guys a quick background on myself. I've been programming since I was 12, initially for video games like StarCraft, Age of Empires. I was kind of that kid that would more or less hack those games and beat other people by building scripts rather than playing myself. When I got to high school, my parents shut off the internet, so I couldn't do that anymore. I instead went into short film and music composition. So I did that for about 4 years, and then when I got to college, I got curious about the stock market. So I paid a lot of my tuition through trading, but at some point I realized that if I could trade and I could code, I could kind of put the two and two together, and that's basically the genesis of Tech Trader. So a lot of people are probably curious, there's a lot of automated systems out there. What makes Tech Trader so special? What's the big deal about this one? Tech Trader is fully autonomous. When we say fully autonomous, what we mean is that literally you leave it on 24/7 and never touch it. It's been running for over 4 years now with no human intervention. There's no tweaking, no code updates. I don't supervise it. There's no parameters to tweak. It's completely AI driven. A lot of existing trading systems out there are either quant, stat-arb, or high frequency. Tech Trader is none of those. It's actually a system that trades like a human being. So the difference between this and what's out there, it's as if you had a human trader and you cloned him thousands of times over, so that each copy of that trader can watch a different stock. The technology behind Tech Trader itself, I call it cognitive artificial intelligence. It's not deep learning, it's not neural nets, it's something completely different. The main idea is that most artificial intelligence out there is more like automated data science. What I've built is actually a system that behaves more like a creature or a child than anything mechanical. It's almost like you have an animal now that's in the markets trying to survive. There's actually a paper that we have on our website, techtrader.ai, that details how we go about building the system. And the two key elements that we think are unique is that there's an element of free will and there's an element of imagination. Not literally, but we're trying to mimic that aspect of human traders. A lot of it comes from my gaming background, so a lot of times if you're playing these games, you can't really treat the game like a model. There's a player on the other side trying to kill you. You have to be creative, you have to figure out every situation that might come at you. So Tech Trader is the first proof of concept of this technology. The way we packaged up Tech Trader as a product is it's the first fully autonomous hedge fund. It's basically a hedge fund that has no human traders, no human portfolio managers, no analysts. It's literally a company that no one has to do anything and the systems handle everything. So the company itself is about a year old now. We raised about 20 million initially to get it started. So far, we now have about 100 million raised, and we're going for the capacity minimum is 1 billion. So I've actually tested the strategies. It used to trade at a previous multi-billion-dollar hedge fund. So we know it can handle at least $1 billion in trading capacity. We actually don't know the upper bound. So that's what we're going for as a fundraising target. The nice part about it, and what makes it very unconventional, is that this is a steady 30% return. That's the target year after year. And unlike traditional VC, there's no multi-year lockup. It's liquid. It's a very different proposition because we're not trying to shoot for like 5x, 6x, 100x return over the course of many years. This is basically, you can do the math, 30% compounded for about 3 years would be a 100% increase, and every year after that would be more compounding. A lot of people criticize that I basically built it during a bull market, but the last couple of years have been a good example of the system actually learning and adjusting. So 2015, it continued to make about 30%. This year, which is notorious for killing a lot of hedge funds, Ackman lost 20% in January. We actually made 0.5% in January. This year, so far, the system is up about 15%. The hedge fund index overall is only up 2.7%. The S&P is up about 3 or 4. So basically, it's like a human that's actually adjusting and learning the markets as opposed to a system. And pretty much anything outside of the technology itself is very standard. We don't want to do anything crazier than having the AI itself already. So any of our providers, third parties, anything we outsource to, this is basically the same setup as a professional, actual Wall Street hedge fund. Our custodian is actually Goldman Sachs. We have auditors, we have an offshore fund even, for people that want to invest from around the world. And yeah, it's standard 2 and 20, and the nice part is that everything I'm saying is already net of fees. So, even though we have a 2 and 20 fee, it pretty much doesn't matter what that fee is because the 30% is after the fees. So that's the first proof of concept of the technology I built. It's called TechTrader. TechTrader is the use case in the stock market. The technology itself is called Quantus, basically our approach to artificial intelligence. You can look us up more at techtrader.ai, and I'm open to questions. Thank you.
Have you back-tested 2008, 2009?
Yeah, it made about, in the back test, it was about 27% in 2008. But it was kind of funny because it would jump from like 10% invested to 90% invested in the next week, and then suddenly go back to cash the next week. So it was very sporadic.
Is it long?
It's long and short. So the system actually doesn't know the difference. It just thinks it's playing a video game. Yeah.
Is there at the qualitative issues like certain aspects of the corporation in which the funds are invested? Say, so their goal isn't just financial return, financial return is great, but it goes beyond that, and they add certain qualitative factors to that. Is this capable of doing that?
So you want to add qualitative factors to the investment style. Can you give me an example?
Well, for example, you want to make sure that the company is, let's say, environmentally conscious, for example.
So the premise behind what we're building is we're trying to see how far the AI can go. So the AI itself doesn't even know what the stock market is. All it does is try to play this video game that has a bunch of numbers spinning back. So straight answer is no. And what I'm trying to get at is that that's not our goal here. Our goal is just to build this technology and see what it's capable of. Yeah.
Do you have existing customers? I guess you mentioned something about a $20 million initial raise. Is that for this particular product?
Yep. So our first business using the technology is for the stock market, and that had about 20 million initially. Right now
What was the name of that?
This is it, the TechTrader fund. If you search for TechTrader, go to techtrader.ai. That's basically everything we're building. Right now, we are basically wrapping up a lot of what we're doing on this SAL and trying to more or less move on to the general AI, which is called canonics.
How many assets under management with full value using this proprietary?
Right now we have about, let's see, we have 80 million committed, but like a lot of it is gradually coming in. So actual trading is about 20 million, and then over the next couple months, a lot of that's going to start coming in as well.
Your clearinghouse is Goldman Sachs?
Yeah, Goldman Sachs and a couple other brokers.
Where are the funds you deposit to if I'm an investor
So,
now?
two questions from one person.
Sure.
I was just curious, it's a fascinating idea, but I don't get it. You already raised 20 million, if I understand it correctly. What do you need so much money for?
Oh, we're trying to get it to 1 billion so we can actually compete with Wall Street. So Wall Street's kind of weird. Like they won't even rank you unless you're at least like, I don't know, half a billion dollars. So then even if we're outperforming the hedge funds, it's like we're not even mentioned anywhere or like nobody knows we exist. So we're trying to get this as a first proof of concept that the technology works. So then the hedge fund can kind of be like this example of cognitive artificial intelligence, and that can essentially help us get the general AI along. Thank you. I'll be in the back over there.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thank you to presenters, to you for coming, cross-campus volunteers. And we still have some time to network here, and I hope to see you at other events. Again, this event next month will be October 19th. Okay, have a good night.